Alright, hey YouTube, this is Aaron with Operation Bad here with a X-Saber deck list. It's my main deck, but it's not fully completed yet. I'm still missing a few cards, but I'm going to profile it anyway for you guys. So starting off the deck here, we got 3 Full Helm Knights. Now this guy is pretty much your main tuner. He's almost your main card. He can stop attacks. He can, if he switched to defense mode and ram over something, you can get one back, an X-Saber back from your grave. He's very versatile. He's a 3-star tuner, and that's pretty much all I have to say about him. Next up, we have Triple Bogart Knight. Now, this guy is almost a little too good for his purpose. 4-star 1900 beater that has a Marauding Captain effect, as in when you summon him, you can get out a another level 4 or lower X-Saber to your, or special summon one level 4 or lower X-Saber from your hand. And what that allows you to do is almost an instant fault roll, or just, it's speed swarming at its best. 1900 beater gets over most things. Can suicide with Thunder King if you really need to. But the only downside to him is that being 4-star, and with that effect he has the downside of that he can only be used for an X-Saber Synchro, which kind of hinders him a little bit, but other than that, he's a nice little thing to hit a lot of cards with. Next is 3 Dark Souls. Dark Soul is your main searcher of the deck. You sync with him pretty much, obviously, with Full Helm Knight. He, now his timing's a little weird at the end of the turn, and oftentimes I do just kind of forget about it if I don't have him on top, but his effect is pretty good. You can stall with him, use Emmer's search out a Dark Soul, and then use Dark Soul to search out something to your hand, like a Bogart, Full Helm, or Fault Roll. Next up, I only have 1 Emmer's Blade. I want 2 more. I'm very excited that they're coming out in the special edition for Hidden Arsenal. And this guy here, giant rat of the series. That's all I have to say. Secret rare rat that's $40 right now. But he's pretty resilient. He can even search out Bogart Knight if you just want something that's kind of like hefty attack that your opponent can't hit over right at the time. Tech in 1 Airbellum because there is a synchro that I use with him, and his effect isn't half bad. And also he's a 3-star tuner, 1600 attack, so he can get bottomless. But I recommend that most X-Sabers don't run more than 1 Airbellum, just for the sheer fact that it's actually not that great. Here comes the boss of the deck, and that is Triple Fault Roll. For me, Fault Roll at 3 is perfect. I know most players play it at 2, but 3 works really, really well. Especially summon this guy when you've got 2 X-Sabers on the field. Easy to get out with Bogart Knight or Gotham's Emergency Call. And special summon 1 back once per turn. So you need to synchro that turn. You've got, let's say you've got a Full Helm on the field and a Dark Soul in the grave. Pull Dark Soul back, sink into a 6, and go crazy. He's pretty much the one thing that's going to be... He can't be dead draw most of the time if you're not, you're not set up for him, but more often than not, you're going to have Bogart and 1 other X-Saber. If not, you're going to have an X-Saber and a Gotham's E-Call face down. So this guy is definitely boss monster of the deck. Now I tech in 3 Reborn Tengus. Now, for all you players out there who have not seen Tengu, Tengu is pretty versatile. It can be splashed into just about anything. Whenever it leaves the field, you get another one. 4-star 1700 beater. It goes great with this deck because it's the only way I can actually make 7-star synchros like Black Rose and other stuff like that. So Tengu I tech in here, and it's actually been working pretty well. So onto the spells. 2 Upstart. I actually don't own Pot of Duality, so I think this is about as good as I can get. I don't have much other options for draw power, seeing as I can't do Allure and I can't do Cards from the Sky. This card is my main draw force of the deck. Forbidden Lance, obvious reasons to stop. Like if I go for big swarming, like Bogart into Full Helm into Fault Roll and maybe a Torrential, use this on Fault Roll to keep it alive, and then special summon out another one. So Lance is always a good card. Book, staple. I do tech one enemy controller just for the extra full home play. I know that's probably not the best idea, but it is kind of nice to switch something into defense mode and then just hit over it with full helm. Get something else back, either attack again or synchro at the end of the turn. Now I do also tech one Saber Slash. I know most Saber players don't tech this, but this thing's actually saved me more often than it's been a dead draw, so they've got Royal Oppression, they've got Royal Decree, you know, something like that. This is kind of like an extra MST for me most of the time, unless they have like a Ryo and I can't get over it. It's actually very helpful for getting over Oppression and Decree, which really hinders this deck. Oppression especially, because I can't synchro for anything. Next up we have Reinforcements. Just obvious search out for Full Helm. Mind Control, because you do run 4 tuners and they can be easily recycled, so this is always a great card to have. Take whatever they have, either face down, face up, flip it, do whatever. It's Ryko, it's great. Sync with it, get it off the field, whatever you want to do with it. 2 MST, 1 Trunade, staples. Dark Hole, staple. Monster Reborn, another staple. Now on to traps. I run 2 Saber Holes. Now people probably here are going to be screaming at their at the video right now saying, where are the solemn warnings? Well, with them being over $100 right now and not having probably the best of trades, Saber Hole's the best I'm going to have to live with. It's actually not too hard to have an X-Saber on the field, but Warning is definitely the better option here. But Saber Hole's, you know, not a bad choice if you're a budget. So 2 Gotham Z Call. People say to run 3. I find it typically is going to be a dead draw most of the time. 2 for me is the preferred number. This card is what almost breaks X-Sabers, really. You summon 1, activate this, get 2 more back from the grave, get a Fault Roll, special summon another one from the grave if you have one. You can go crazy with synchros, you can go crazy with Fault Roll plays. This card is pretty busted with this deck, so always nice to have a few copies of that. Judgment, staple. Mirror Force, staple. 2/7 tools for the stuff like Solemn Warning or Solemn Judgment that my opponent plays, or anything like Mirror Force that I can't get over at the time. Yeah, Sure Dark Bribe is another alternative, but I'd rather pay life points than give my opponent a 1+ hand advantage. So that's why I run 7 tools over that. And finally, we have 2 Trap Stuns. Trap Stun replaced Cold Wave, when the ban list came out. It's actually really nice, obviously, because it stops just about everything in its tracks right now. But, so, that's what I'm running right now. Alright, now, onto the extra deck here. I got 2 Gothams. Honestly, people are going to say right now, again, screaming at their computer monitor, saying, why aren't you running something other than Gothams? Again, it's because I actually don't have it. I lost my Mistworm. Don't have a Trish, don't have, anything like that. But he's alright. He's a 3100 beater. Gets hand advantage pretty quickly, but that's just him. Next up is 2 High and Late. This thing is what pushes for game multiple times. Pretty much they have any back row. You can special summon this guy, or girl, as per picture, and destroy any up to 3 back row that they have, so it's pretty devastating, but obviously people expect it, so they go, Fiendish Chain or Royal Oppression or something. Bryanek, that's kind of obvious for the 6-star, he's a staple in the extra deck. Gaia Knights, I have been seeing this dude been used more and more common since Goyo was banned, so I'm running one of him. Black Rose Dragon, do I really need to even explain this one? Summon this, blow up every card on the field, it helps. Especially with Tengus, when you get Tengu out and sync for this, blow it up, get another Tengu, so. Now this is where people are going to think this is weird. I run a Voltic Bicorn. Now people are like, wait a minute. Doesn't this take beast monsters? Yeah, it takes one beast tuner, which ends up being Interbellum, and a 4-star, which will be Tengu. So I get this and Tengu. Now, some decks this doesn't work well against, some decks this does. Like Fableds, I know they pretty much love this because they get stuff to the graveyard. It's a 2500 7-star, so it's pretty good. Its effect is also pretty good. Whenever it's destroyed by pretty much anything your opponent controls, both players ditch the top 7 cards of their deck. So, could be helpful, could be detrimental, you know. It's up to you. One Ancient Fairy for when you end up with the GK, yeah, Gravekeeper matchup. Pop their Necro Valley and, you know, keep X-Sabers in the grave from being, you know, unable to be special summoned. Also, with Ancient Fairies, its secondary effect is Special Summon 1 level 4, to where if you wanted to get Fault Roll, you could get Fault Roll that turn also, summon a Full Helm, Special Summon using this effect to get, like Bogart or Dark Soul or something, and then Special into a Fault Roll, which, I like it, but then you can't conduct your battle phase, but I kind of think that's a good cost for that. Scrap Archfiend just for the pure beater if I need it. I run one Interbellum just in case I have Bogart and Full Helm in hand and they have like Cyber Dragon on the field or something. You know, I have to sink into this and hit over it or something. Stardust, fairly standard. You know what it does. Tribute off to negate anything that destroys pretty much any card on the field. And Colossal Fighter. Colossal Fighter here is it's really, really good in this deck, but 8s are kind of hard for me to go into right now since I'm not maining a Poshul. I'm signing 2 of them. For those of you who don't know what Poshul is, it's a 2-star tuner for X-Sabers that it's basically a Spirit Reaper. Well, it can't be destroyed by battle, but while in defense mode, you take damage 1,000 per each of your opponent's standby phases. So it helps to get it onto the field and get it off the field pretty fast. It also helps you with Bogart to go into a high and lay. So, alright guys, that's my X-Saber deck, and I hope you guys, I hope to help you guys out if you were running X-Sabers or if you were looking into it or something. But that's the deck, and that's really all I have to say, so hope you guys enjoyed.